Marcus Chen had always prided himself on being unremarkable. Average height, plain features, and a talent for languages that kept him employed but never famous. When the Galactic Council assigned him as Earth's translator for the Threshold trials, he expected another routine diplomatic mission. He certainly hadn't expected to become a legend. The shuttle deposited him on Vex Prime, a harsh world where the galaxy's most prestigious combat arena hosted trials that determined species standing in the Council. Humanity was new to galactic politics, barely a century since first contact, and their placement in the trials would decide whether they remained a backwater curiosity or gained full membership. "Just observe and translate," Ambassador Williams had instructed. "Don't interfere. Don't participate. Just make sure we understand what's happening." The arena loomed before Marcus like a metallic coliseum, its surfaces gleaming with alien script that his neural implant automatically parsed. Spectators from dozens of species filled the stands, towering krillax with their chitinous exoskeletons, graceful Etherians floating in translucent pods, and hulking Gorvani whose mere presence made the ground tremble. Marcus found his designated translator's booth, a small chamber overlooking the arena floor. Through the reinforced viewing panel, he watched as the day's first trial began. A young Zellan warrior faced off against a massive sandworm, traditional weapons gleaming in the artificial sunlight. The combat was brutal and swift. The Zellan's blade found its mark and purple blood stained the arena sand. The crowd erupted in approval, their various calls of celebration translating through Marcus's implant as variations of honor through strength. For 3 hours, Marcus dutifully translated the proceedings for the human delegation via quantum comm. Warriors from different species proved themselves through combat, each victory earning their people better trade agreements, territorial rights, or political influence. It was barbaric by human standards, but Marcus understood the underlying logic. In a galaxy where force determined policy, demonstrations of individual prowess carried real weight. Then the announcer's voice boomed across the arena, and Marcus's blood froze as his implant processed the words. "By ancient right, the humans' representative will now face the Gorvani champion Thoktar the Undefeated." The crowd fell silent. Marcus frantically activated his comm. "Ambassador, there's been a mistake. They're calling for a human representative in the arena." "That's impossible," Williams's voice crackled back. "We specifically registered as observers only." But the arena's massive gates were already grinding open. A Gorvani stepped out, easily 3 meters tall and massed like a walking tank. Scars crisscrossed his granite gray hide, and his forearms each gripped a different weapon: axe, mace, sword, and energy pike. The announcer continued, "As is tradition, should no representative appear within 10 cycles, the species forfeits all standing and becomes subject peoples." Marcus's translator implant helpfully provided a countdown timer. 9 minutes and 43 seconds. "Ambassador?" Marcus's voice was steady despite his racing heart. "We're checking the registration now, but Marcus, I need you to buy us time. Find some procedural objection, anything." Marcus activated the booth's external speaker. His voice echoed across the arena as he spoke in perfect galactic standard. "There appears to be an administrative error. Humanity registered as observers. A council adjudicator, a crystalline being whose thoughts rang like wind chimes, responded. Registration shows combat entry for species designation human. Representative Marcus Chen, translator class." The countdown hit 8 minutes. Marcus stared at the form materializing on his booth's display. Someone had indeed registered him as humanity's champion. But who? His eyes caught a familiar signature code in the filing metadata: Ambassador Williams's authorization. The realization hit him like a plasma blast. This had been the plan all along. Send the expendable translator. Let humanity fail spectacularly, then claim they'd been sabotaged. Perfect political cover for inevitable defeat. 7 minutes. In the arena, Thoktar was performing a ritual war dance, his weapons spinning in complex patterns. The crowd was growing restless. Marcus could see human diplomats in the VIP section, their faces masks of carefully crafted concern. 6 minutes. Marcus thought about his sister Sarah, dying in a corporate med center because her insurance wouldn't cover experimental treatment. About his nephew Tommy, whose school had been closed due to budget constraints while military contractors got billion credit deals. About 1,000 small injustices that had shaped his supposedly unremarkable life. He was just a translator. Average, expendable, 5 minutes. Marcus stood up and walked to the booth's exit. The arena fell silent as the door hissed open. Representative Chen enters. The announcer boomed. Marcus had never held a weapon in anger, never thrown a punch outside childhood scuffles, but as he walked across the sand toward the weapon racks, something crystallized in his mind. Every species here respected strength, but they defined it narrowly, as the ability to destroy. Humans had a different kind of strength. Marcus selected a simple steel rod, barely a meter long and unremarkable as himself. Thoktar's laughter rumbled like an avalanche. Small human brings stick to fight, Thoktar? The Gorvani's basic was heavily accented but understandable. This will be quick death. Maybe, Marcus replied. But not yours, the starting horn sounded. Thoktar charged, his massive bulk surprisingly fast. Marcus didn't try to block or parry, instead he moved. Not the flashy acrobatics of trained warriors, but the economical motion of someone who understood physics. He slipped aside at the last possible moment, his rod striking precisely at the Gorvani's knee joint. The crowd gasped as the giant stumbled. Thoktar's axe swung in a deadly arc, missing Marcus by centimeters as he rolled beneath the blow and struck again. Same knee, slightly different angle. Marcus wasn't trying to overpower his opponent. He was dismantling him. Each strike targeted nerve clusters, joint connections, or pressure points that his translator implant had mapped from medical databases. Humans might be physically weaker than most species, but they were pattern recognition specialists. Evolution on a death world had taught them to find the flaws in bigger, stronger predators. Thoktar's movements became increasingly erratic as sensation fled from his limbs. His weapons grew heavy as neural pathways disrupted. The proud Gorvani champion, undefeated for 7 years, found himself fighting not a warrior but a problem solver who treated combat like a translation puzzle. Find the meaning. Identify the structure, apply the correct interpretation. The end came suddenly. Thoktar swung his energy pike in desperation, overextending himself. Marcus stepped inside the arc and drove his simple rod upward, not to pierce flesh but to strike the neural bundle at the base of the Gorvani's skull. The giant toppled like a felled tree. The arena erupted, not just cheers but something deeper, recognition. The crowd had witnessed something unprecedented. Victory through intellect rather than brute force. As Marcus helped the stunned but uninjured Thoktar to his feet, the Gorvani spoke quietly. How did small human know to strike there? Because, Marcus replied, wiping Thoktar's blue blood from his hands, I'm a translator, and I just translated your anatomy into a language I could understand. The crowd's cheers followed Marcus as he walked back toward the exit, covered in his opponent's blood, but grinning with something that felt remarkably like pride. Behind him, the announcer's voice rang out, Victory to humanity. By right of combat, full council membership is granted. Marcus activated his comm one final time. Ambassador? Mission accomplished. And you're fired. Sometimes the most unremarkable people translate into something extraordinary when the situation demands it. Marcus Chen had learned that strength came in many forms, and humans specialized in the kinds that others couldn't even recognize until it was too late. He was just there to translate, but he'd walked out having translated humanity's true potential into a language the entire galaxy could understand.